Welcome back. So let us start with our first project. So here we will be painting this very pretty hanging planter. It is hanging on a macrame kind of hanging, and it will host money plant or also called as golden pothos. So first color that I'm taking is Payne's gray. So I have just wet the surface of my planter with plain water, and I'm taking a diluted version of Payne's gray for the first layer. So I will be swatching all the colors and showing you the techniques on this rough watercolor paper. So I'm swatching the greenish yellow color here first. So this we will use to create the leaves of the money plant. So I'm just making some small leaf shapes with this greenish yellow color, and I'm just spreading it all over the planter and also making them come out and create a beautiful foliage or hanging thing. Next I'm taking some sap green and I will create more leaves using this sap green. I'm using size 6 round brush over here to create these small leaves. You can also create the leaves on the cords of the macrame, so that it will appear like a creeper which is climbing on the cords, and also make them coming down in the form of a string to depict the beautiful hanging foliage from the planter. So you can see I'm adding the leaves on the cord so that it looks like the plant is climbing up on the cord. So now I'm taking some medium tone of sap green and adding a little shade to our leaves. So this will give a beautiful shadow or shading to our leaves. So I'm doing it randomly. There is no fixed rule to do it. Also adding more leaves to make it look pretty, and you can just enjoy the process and add as many leaves as you wish. I'm just adding some dots here and there to depict the smallest of the leaves. Next I'm picking my liner brush and taking some Van Dyke brown. So this is a dark brown color, and we will be using this to create the macrame cord. So you can consider it as a string or a rope that we are using to tie the planter, and I'm just tracing it out with this brown color. We will also paint this brown cord on the planter, and this will depict the beautiful woven cord that is holding the planter. So below the planter I am making some knot like shapes and also creating the hanging of the macrame. So this will give a complete look of the macrame hanging. Now I am taking some dark brown again and giving a little highlights to our hanging planter. So I am filling some of the empty space in the top with brown color. This will depict the soil that is present in the planter. Also giving some finishing touches to this brown cord that is holding the plant. Now I am again taking the Payne's grey color which I had forgot to swatch earlier. So I am taking a little medium tone of this Payne's grey and giving finishing touches to our planter. So I am tracing out the outline of the planter. Now I am taking a flat brush and blending this Payne's grey color on the pot. So just tracing out the outline again with the Payne's grey. So this will give a beautiful finishing to our planter. Now I'm taking some sap green on my liner brush and creating a central line on the leaves. So these are the very tiny lines, but it gives leaves a definition as it divides the leaves into two parts. So along with these central lines, I am also tracing some random small lines in green color. So this will depict the different little stems coming out from the planter. So I'm just adding some more little leaves to our extended plant. I'm also adding some dark leaves. So this will create a contrast between the light and the dark leaves. So you can see how beautifully our planter is coming together with a mix of beautiful green leaves in different shades. Some are light, some are yellowish, and some are dark. And the macrame planter, macrame holder is holding the plant so beautifully. Now I am taking a white gel pen and adding a little highlights near the macrame cords. So this is optional. You can even use a white paint to do this. So we are done with our first gorgeous planter. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next section. Welcome back. Let us start with our second planter. So for this I am taking some burnt sienna. So I'm taking a diluted burnt sienna for the first layer of this pot. So it's like a earthen pot that we have here. It is also called as terracotta pots or earthen pots. So I'm applying color on one side of the pot and I will clean my brush with plain water and spread the color on the other side of the pot. This will help us to create the highlighted area. So we are assuming that our light is coming from the right side, and that is why we are painting this portion is little lighter than our left side. Now I'm taking some dark brown. So I'm using Van Dyke brown over here, and again I'm painting on the left side of the pot and spreading the color gently on the right side. I'm using my size 6 round brush here. You can use any round brush for painting the pot. Adding some more Van Dyke brown to the left side to create the contrast. Also, I am tracing all the outlines with this dark color. So again I am applying some more color on the left side. I'm cleaning my brush and then spreading it on the right side. So this helps us to build up the different layers and to get the right texture on the terracotta pot. Now I'm switching to size 4 silver black velvet brush. So this brush has a very good tip. So that is why I'm using this. You can even use a rigger brush. I'm taking some green color. So this is the olive green color that I am using, and creating some stems for our fern plant. So just swatching the olive green color here. Now I am adding some tiny leaves to our fern plant with this olive green color. So these are the background leaves that we are creating. That is why I will be using diluted olive green so that we get lighter shades of the green color. So I'm just creating tiny strokes with the brush. So we will repeat the same process and paint all the leaves on our fern plant. As our background leaves are dry now, we will pick some dark olive green color. I'm not taking a watery mix, so this is a little dark or concentrated mix of olive green, and we will again paint the same set of leaves with this darker shade. So this will give a beautiful dense effect to our plant, and it will look full of beautiful fern leaves. Let us see how we are painting the fern leaves in little more detail. So I'm just creating a straight line and pressing the tip of the brush to get these impressions of the tiny leaves. So let us continue with adding some more dark leaves in the front side of the plant. Feel free to add as many leaves or as little leaves as you wish. The planter will look beautiful with all the lush green leaves in different shades here, as we have created the dark and the light leaves. Hope you enjoyed creating this little fern plant. See you in the next section where we will explore and create another lovely plant. Welcome back. So let us paint another lovely planter. So I'm taking some indigo color over here. So this is a diluted form of indigo that I'm using for the first layer of our planter. So we are applying the diluted indigo color on the complete planter. To get a little highlight, I am picking some color from the left side and wiping it off on the tissue paper. Now I am taking a little more concentrated indigo color and applying the second layer on the planter. So here again I have started with the left side, and I will wash my brush and blend the color on the right side. So we have a little highlight here on the right side of the planter. So that depicts the light and the shadow effect. Now I'm picking some more indigo color and applying the third layer in the similar fashion. So I'm applying the color on the left side and making sure we have the border correctly chalked out, and I'm just applying the color on the left side and blending it with a clean brush on the right side. So you can see I'm not picking a lot of color, but I'm trying to get this shading effect with the indigo color. So let us move to our plant. So this is a geranium plant that we will be painting. So I'm picking some sap green over here and creating thick leaves. The geranium plant has very dense set of leaves and they are little thick like blobs. So I'm taking a mix of sap green and olive green and creating this dense set of leaves. I'm creating some tiny stems coming out of the leaves using the olive green color. Now for the flowers, we will take some alizarin crimson. So let us quickly swatch the color. So this is the pinkish red or alizarin crimson that I've taken, and with this diluted mix I'm creating the little blobs which will represent our geranium flowers. So they do not have a particular shape as we are painting in a loose style, so we are just depicting them as little blobs. Now I will take some concentrated alizarin crimson and add to the center of the flowers. Also adding some dotted patterns to represent the tiny little flowers that are growing here and there. Now I am taking a dark earthy green, that is undersea green. If you do not have this color, you can mix little red or burnt sienna to your sap green and get this earthy tone of green color. So I'm adding texture to our earlier leaves with this darker green color. Now I'm switching to my liner brush and picking the same undersea green and just highlighting the stems a little more. Now let us give the finishing touches to our planter. So I'm taking a white gel pen here. You can even use white gouache or white watercolor, and I'm just tracing some design on the planter. So you can go with this design or you can create your own design and make your planter beautiful. I'm taking little indigo color on my liner brush and just tracing out the outline of the planter so that it is highlighted nicely. So that is it for our cute little geranium planter. I hope you enjoyed painting this along with me. Let us move together to the next section to learn another exciting planter. See you there. So let us start with our fourth planter. So this is actually a very pretty bottle which we will decorate with dry flowers. So I'm using phthalo blue over here. I have taken a watery mix of this deep blue color and I'm covering the bottle. So as you can see, I have not covered the entire bottle. I have left a little highlight in the right side and I'm just tracing the outline on the right side of the bottle. So this will give the impression of glass effect and the reflection of light from the glass. I have switched to my liner brush here and I have picked some concentrated phthalo blue color. So I'm just sketching the outline with this dark concentrated blue color. I'm using a pointed liner brush to create these outlines. I'm also adding some dark lines in the center of the bottle to depict the shadows. Now I'm taking some yellow ochre color on the liner brush and we will be creating these dried flowers. So I'm just making some straight lines with this yellow ochre color. So let us swatch the yellow ochre color. So this is the pretty yellow, dark yellow that we have here. Now I'm taking a little diluted mix of the same color and creating little florets on these sticks. So this will look like the dry flower decorations in our glass bottle. So just adding tiny dotted patterns with this yellow color. So once our stem is dry, I will take some burnt sienna and add it on the stem. You can take any dark brown color and use it for the stem. So this will distinguish the flower and the stem and it will give a pretty highlight. Let us do a quick recap of how we painted the bottle. So I'm just drawing the shape roughly on this rough paper. Now I'm using some diluted blue color. So it is a phthalo blue color that I have used here. And I'm painting on the bottle, leaving some highlight on the right side. Now I'm using the liner brush and picking some concentrated color and tracing out the entire outline of the bottle. Adding some dark lines in the center portion and just highlighting the other areas. That's it, our very easy glass bottle is ready. I hope you enjoyed creating this little project. See you in the next section. Welcome back. So let us paint our fifth planter. So in this one we will be creating beautiful tulip flowers. So for the pot I am taking some burnt sienna, diluted burnt sienna and applying it all over the pot. Next I am taking a little concentrated burnt sienna and applying a second layer. So in this layer I have started with the left side. So after applying on the left side, I am cleaning my brush and just spreading the same color on the right side. So you can see I'm picking the color and applying it on the left side. And I'm just cleaning the brush and blending the color on the right side. Now let us take some light yellow to create our tulip flowers. So I'm just taking a very light yellow and making small dab motions to represent the tulips. Next I'm picking cadmium yellow and I will create a small center on our light yellow tulip flowers. So I'm just creating a little lines in these tulips and this will give a nice color variation. Next I will pick some orange color. So we'll be adding some more tulips with this orange color. So I'm creating tiny heart shapes to represent the tulips. So in this planter we are having some beautiful yellow and orange tulips. You can play with different colors and create your own combination, or you can use this same yellow and orange combination. Now I'm picking some olive green and creating little stems for our flowers. I'm using my size 4 brush here, which has a pointed tip. You can use any brush which has a good tip. Now we will add some leaves. So just to look at how we are creating the leaves, we are just pressing the brush and then picking it up back. So with the impression of this brush, we are creating the leaves. So you can see I'm just pressing it and lifting it again. So we are getting these beautiful long leaves for our tulips. So I'm taking my orange color and just adding a few more flowers. I'm also adding little highlights in a red color to the orange flowers. So that will give a beautiful dark highlight to the flowers. Adding in a little yellow flowers in the gaps so that we have a beautiful planter which is in full bloom. Now again picking olive green and adding some more leaves. Also filling in the gap between the planter and the flowers with green leaves. And we are adding leaves abundantly so that we have a fuller looking planter. Now we will take some cadmium yellow and add little highlights to our yellow tulip flowers. Adding this highlight instantly lifts up the flowers and make them so much more beautiful. Now picking some dark green and adding little highlights to the leaves and stems. Next we will create some texture on the pot. So I'm taking some dark brown. So it's a mix of Payne's grey and Van Dyke brown. And I'm just creating some lines on our planter. So that's it. We are done with our lush, beautiful planter with gorgeous tulip flowers. I hope you enjoyed painting this. See you in the next section where we will paint some books and bamboos and lot of more things to explore. So keep painting. Thank you.